Hi everyone. So today's topic is on insertion sort. Insertion sort is one of the simplest sorting technique. Out of all the sorting techniques, insertion sort is one of the simplest sorting technique. Let me explain with an example. Taking an example, I'll teach you how insertion sort works. So for example, if the list has 6 elements, for instance 2, 6, 5, 1, 3 and 4. So the given list will be divided into two parts. The first part will have the sorted elements. The second half will have unsorted elements. So assuming to be the first element to be the sorted, we are going to proceed with the other other technique. Okay, now I'm going to sort the given numbers in ascending order. So I have to finally get the order as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Okay, so before iteration, we are going to divide the list into two halves. The first half will have the sorted elements. Second half will have the unsorted elements. So the first element is assumed to be sorted. So my the first iteration will be, we have to check the first element of the unsorted array with the element of the sorted array. So 2, I'll check whether 2 is greater than 6. So 2 is not greater than 6. There is no need for any swapping of the elements. So now after first iteration, sorted elements will be 2, 6, 5, 1, 3, 4. So this is obtained by checking 2 with 6. Since it is in ascending order, we check whether 2 is greater than 6. Since 2 is not greater than 6, we keep the elements as it is, as the sorted array elements, and again it's been divided. So the two elements are sorted, the other remaining 4 are unsorted. Now there is again a check. Next iteration, now there is a check between 5 and 6. Now it checks whether 6 is greater than 5. Yes, 6 is greater than 5. Then there is a swap required. So there is a swap between 2, 5, 6, 1, 3, 4. So now 5 enters into the sorted array list. Okay, now again, since there is a swap between 5 and 6, now again the current element is 5. Now there is a check between 5 and 2. Now it checks whether 2 is greater than 5. 2 is not greater than 5. There is no swap required. So the final sorted elements will be 2, 5 and 6. So now if you see the process, all the leftmost elements before the unsorted list, everything will be in sorted order. So third iteration, now it makes a check between 1 with 6. So there is a check between 1 with 6. Now it checks whether 6 is greater than 1. 6 is greater than 1. There is a swap required. So now it becomes 2, 5, 1 and 6, and the remaining unsorted will be 3 and 4. Now the element is 1. Now there is a cross check between 5 and 1. 5 is greater than 1. There is a swap. So it becomes 2, 1, 5, 6, 3 and 4. Now again there is a check between 2 and 1. 2 is greater than 1. There is a swap. So it is 1, 2, 5, 6, 3 and 4. Since there are no elements, it stops. So this is the third iteration. So all the elements within the sorted array will have all the sorted elements. Iteration 4. Now there is a check between 1, 2, 5, 6, 3 and 4. Now it checks between 3 and 6. 6 is greater than 3. So there is a swap. So my elements will be 2, 1, 2, 5, 3, 6 and 4. Now there is a check between 5 and 3. 5 is greater than 3. So there is a swap. So it becomes 1, 2, 3, 5, 6 and 4. Now there is a check between 2 and 3. 2 is not greater than 3. So it stops, which means below 3 all the elements are sorted. So the next iteration T5, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6 and 4. So now there is a check between 4 and 6. 6 is greater than 4. What happens? 1, 2, 3, 5. There is a swap, 4 and 6. There are no elements after the unsorted part. So therefore, there is a cross check between 5 and 4. 5 is greater than 4. So there is a swap. So it becomes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Now there is a check between 3 and 4. Since 3 is lesser than 4, the iteration stops because the number beneath 3 will always be lesser than the current element 4. So finally, the sorted list will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I hope you understood the logic for the insertion sort. Now let me explain the coding part. Python code for insertion sort. I'll teach you how to write a Python code for insertion sort. Now let us take a list named array. So array is equal to set of elements 2, 6, 5, 1, 3 and 4. The same example I am taking. So list will have 2, 6, 5, 1, 3 and 4. Then I make a function called insertion sort of, I am passing the argument array. So the function name is insertion sort. I am making a function call by passing the list. Now the control will go back to function definition. So you will have definition insertion sort of array. Then I have to iterate between the elements. So I need to make use of for loop. So for, I'll make use of the variable I in range of, from which element we have to start? We have to start from the second element. Okay, since we are assuming the first element to be sorted. So the range will be from 1 to length of array. 1 to length of array, which means I have to start searching from 1 to length of array, which means one element lesser than the size. So it will be 1 to 5. Okay, then I'll use one more variable, j is equal to I. J is equal to I. Then I'll have to have one more condition while array of j minus 1 is greater than array of j and j greater than 0. So what's happening? I'm checking array of j minus 1. What is j value here? J is equal to I. So j is equal to 1. J is pointing here to 6. Now it will check array of j minus 1. So array of 1 minus 1 is 0. Now it will check whether 2 is greater than the current element. 2 is greater than current element and j should also be greater than 0 because it should not go for negative indexing. Okay, if this is the case, if it is greater, then we have to swap. So a new condition, array of j minus 1 comma array of j is equal to array of j comma array of j minus 1. So you can swap like this, which means array of j will be replaced in array of j minus 1. Array of j minus 1 will be swapped in array of j. So this is also possible in order for swapping. Okay, then j is equal to j minus 1 because we have to move to the leftmost symbols in order to check. That's it. And then finally we need to print the array element. Okay, this is the code, the complete code. Okay, now let me start tracing the program. So trace 1. Okay, coming here, which is the first line that will be used? Array. Now it will come to this particular line. Array is equal to 2, 6, 5, 1, 3 and 4 to the list. Then there is a function called insertion sort of array. Now the control from here will go back to the function definition. Now it will come here. What is the first value of I? I is equal to 1 to range 5. So there is a checking between indexing 1 to indexing 5 because length of array is equal to 6. So always it will be one index, one number, one element lesser than the overall length of the array. So j is equal to I. Now what is I? J is equal to 1. Now there is a check. Why? Array of j minus 1. What is array of j minus 1? While array of 1 minus 1 is greater than array of 1 and what is j value? 1 greater than 0. Now there is a check. This becomes array of 0 greater than array of 1 and 1 is greater than 0. What is array of 0? Array of 0 is 2. I am checking 2 is greater than array of 1, 6. 2 is greater than 6? No. So once since it is logical AND operator, both the conditions to be true in order to enter the looping. Since this condition is false, it moves to the next iteration. So what is I? I becomes 2. So trace 2, I value is equal to 2 to 5. Now it moves to the second element. Now it comes here. J. What is J value? J is equal to 2. Now I am moving to the second, which means now J value is 2. I have to cross check between J minus 1 with the current element. If 6 is greater than 5, then there is a swap. 6 is greater than 5 and what is J value? 2. Okay. 6 greater than 5 and what is J value? 2 is greater than 0. It is true. Now it enters. Now there is a swap, which means there is a swap between 5 and 6. Trace 3, there is a swap and J becomes 2 minus 1, that is equal to 1. So J is equal to 1. Now again what it will go? It will again go check while. It will go to while loop. While array of 1 minus 1 is greater than array of 0 and 1 greater than 0. So this continues. So what happens here if I consider 2, 6, 5, 1, 3 and 4, the same element. Now there is a swap. So after trace 2, the output will be 2, 5, 6, 1, 3 and 4. Now there is a cross check between 2 and 5. This part of code will check between 2 and 5. Since it is not greater, then it moves back. Now what happens in trace 4? I becomes 3. So 3 to 5. J value is 3. So now this happens. Now what it will do? It will cross check between 1 and 6. If this particular number is greater than 1, then there is a swap and this continues. So I hope you understood the logic of insertion sort. Thank you.